Okay, being 7 o'clock, I'm gonna bring the Dunbarton Board of Selectmen meeting to order. All three selectmen are present, town administrators present. Leah will be videotaping for the public. It will be on the town website as well as YouTube, and Linda Dickerson uploads that. We have Sergeant Remillard here today, our acting chief, and the Old Home Day Committee. Okay, do I have, under old business, do I have an approval for the,
I make a motion to approve the regular minutes of June 10th at 7 PM, Dunbarton Board of Selectmen meeting as amended.
Second.
motion been made and seconded, any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
A couple of small changes, they weren't much. I'm gonna make a note that, we had a special selectmen's meeting on June 14th at 4 PM. We're gonna postpone signing those meeting minutes tonight till our next week, cause we're still working on those meeting minutes.
And I'd like to just take the blame line a little bit there,
Okay,
and the blame line is because I was kinda late in turning on the recorder into the town administrator, so I'll take the
Okay.
blame line there.
no problem.
So noted.
I'm gonna open up for quick public comment first, if you're not on the agenda. Okay. Alright, we have the Old Home Day Committee here today. And I said, seen a note here, you guys have a new date that you'd like to, announce for Old Home Day and see if the Board of Selectmen are in agreement with it. The date that I see here is August 14th, is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, what time of the day will that be starting?
We are still working on that a bit. There are feelings that to have it at 10, the parade kickoff.
AM parade,
With possible change to 10:30 or EE 11 based on other things. We wanted to speak to you and get your input to things before making more final things and contacting vendors and all that kind of stuff.
we'll bring it back to the board, do you have any issue with it, Bob?
No,
Date's okay with you?
the date's okay, and even the time is, very variable within reason. I don't, till what time of the day, John, just out of curiosity?
7 PM-ish, like normal?
Things active, the talent show, was it 3-ish, right? If I recall that, yeah. And so, 4:30, 5, whatever, it'll close itself down. Sometimes we have extended it further, cause there was a fire department thing or another thing going on or whatnot, but this year that they are not sure when they will be doing a barbecue, so, and normally things start to wind down around 4-ish or so.
Mike, you have any other comments?
Just, contingencies for a bad weather day.
We haven't discussed that.
Okay.
And I'll say, in 19, I think it was, 18, just as the parade stepped off, it started pouring. But people were all over the common with umbrellas, and they all were.
So rain or shine?
Yeah,
Okay,
We're gonna have a lot of tents,
yes.
and
also.
we're gonna have 120 by 60. Will be the main tent where people will be eating and stuff like this, that's where the stage will be set up, so.
I'm gonna ask you one thing, the bathrooms, how are they gonna be handled, the ones we talked about the previous years?
Right, we're gonna have a handicap and 2 regular.
And are we helping out with those at all, or you got them in the ear funds?
Well, we're gonna order them as soon as possible and that, because
But
there's
if
a
you
wait
wanted to
list.
help out.
No, I was just asking, cause I think in previous years, we had helped out a portion on that handicap one, so we kept this building locked.
Oh,
Remember doing that? So I don't know what you guys are doing for your funds, but if you guys need us to split half of that one or whatever, let us know, but
Okay.
if you have the funds, I guess we don't need to.
well, we will know better once the plans become a little more final and whatnot. And so, at that point, if it turns out that we're coming up short, we'll,
I think we put a little bit of money in their old home day fund as well,
We
didn't
did, we
we?
plussed it up, I think.
Yeah, I think we plussed it up a little bit with, some of that recreation money that was left over.
And,
yeah,
the other coordination is to make sure that you have to, key coordinations you don't wanna overlook, police department course, for traffic control,
Right.
and they're gonna probably need they have additional support that day. And, probably the library needs to be, where Mary's usually open, I think last time she closed for the day, so coordination with the library, make sure that building's closed.
yes.
And if they do some sort of tours or something in that doorway, I wouldn't
Like that.
keep that bathroom not being used either,
Right.
okay?
Just, the town hall and theater people are, would like, of course, to give limited tours.
Like they did before.
And also, they may be the people who run the talent show.
Okay.
We spoke about that last night at that meeting, or, yeah.
Leo's been holding his hand up
Yeah,
there.
I'm just curious, has anybody looked into the cost of those outhouses?
They had one last year and it wasn't very expensive. I don't
Well,
think.
I guess from what the news says, they're hard to come by, the price is skyrocketed. So might wanna look into that sooner than later. They
Yeah,
said that the outhouses went up fivefold, the price of outhouses. Now, I don't know if it's right here in this area, but they said that the price of outhouses went up to fivefold, which
Yeah,
is
I
a
think
lot of money.
I think one of the companies, bought out the other two, so they have a little monopoly going on.
Well, but what it was is because of COVID, things happening, just like everything else.
Yeah.
And they said that the prices went right up, so you might wanna look
Yeah,
into it
just
sooner
before-
than later.
Just before COVID, one of the big guys bought out a smaller
Yeah,
company that
yeah.
did a lot of contractors and stuff, and
Yeah.
so. I know that in Hillsborough, they've been getting a company that's been fairly reasonable
Yeah.
still.
Whether we're, I think one year we used a company from Henniker and Arts on the Common, we found a husband and wife in, I think it's either Manchester, that would be willing to come out also, so we're gonna follow up on that.
Right.
And, private, once again, small company, off the radar.
Yeah, in the past, which of course is the past, Henniker was usually one of the lower price one. But as it has been mentioned, there are some possible changes there, so we will look at that.
I don't have any issues with it, being August 14th.
Just on a side note, any fun stuff like good old fashioned prices and ice cream?
Yes.
Well, definitely ice cream.
Oh,
Yeah,
No doubt the selecting booth
It's the
either.
Yeah.
COVID
we
prices.
we need ice cream scoopers. And we'd like to have you three gentlemen, in addition to the fire chief and, road agent and,
Police chief.
to help scoop, ice cream.
Okay,
And, I think that'll help. We've reached out to the PTO, they are gonna do the food this year.
serving.
So that'll be their fundraiser. We're gonna give them support as far as how we shopped and things along this lines. But basically, the ball is in their court for everything else. And, one new wrinkle that we are adding this year is we're gonna have Dunbarton Has Talent. And, we've got the link, for people to sign up between now and August 1st. And so that, we can have, old style entertainment, good wholesome family fun. They gotta be a Dunbarton resident.
are they keeping the, old-fashioned food prices again too?
We don't have any control over that, because beef has gone up, so,
That is the intent, and the best prices relative to market. But
People are really happy with you guys there with the cheap food prices.
We sold a lot of cheeseburgers fast.
yeah,
Okay, anything else on Old Home Day?
I just wanted to say to lend some support to the group, I have posted on the website, because it's so early in the stage to save the date. I did put the preliminary 10 AM start to be determined, and come back here so that if they, for, updates, so.
So while that's on the agenda, as Lean said, we have a new Dunbarton website, if you guys wanna visit it and check it out. And they're still fine tuning a few different things for a few different departments, but
I thought I was on the wrong site.
yeah. Was it
Well, we're
easy
gonna
to
have-
do?
we're gonna have banners, you know,
Okay.
let him know that home day is back, that we got the talent contest, it's got the link on there, we have lawn signs. So we're gonna promote it, very heavily, but I think, I know in our new neighbors and that, why it's a very musical family, they're excited about it, they're gonna be involved. You know, so we've got several people, Judy Stone's, daughter is gonna be the master of ceremonies. That she's on the restoration committee.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use it to kind of cross-promote the, times that we had the talent show upstairs. And that, and hopefully we'll get it back up there. So,
We have somebody that's gonna donate the use of a big portable stage.
Oh, nice.
Me.
Oh, there you go.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
you.
it's really cool. So it'll work good with the talent show because they'll actually be on stage rather than just in the bandstand.
Alright, anything else on Old Home Day?
If there's any restrictions that come up, we will adapt, but at present, it looks relatively open. We were thinking of the servers maybe having gloves or masks, whatever,
Yeah, that would be wise. The other thing is, if you can, try and keep your 6 foot distancing as best you can, like if you're doing ice cream, you know.
Yeah.
Spread your rows apart as best you can instead of clustering everything up.
Yeah, the spaces are laid out on about 12 foot centers.
Okay.
I like the fact that COVID is behind us.
yeah.
I like to think that. And I
Well,
think
we're gonna-
A year ago, we were thinking about something like this, and then it's like, it's a celebration for Dunbar. And let's make it a true celebration for Dunbar. And I don't care about the vendors. The vendors are here to support us,
Yeah.
but make it a good party for the folks.
That's part of it, and our themes were basically coming back and come back for, and, you know.
We're gonna have the ice cream in the tent where the people eat rather than where they buy the food. So that way it's separated, and that way if the PTO wants to keep cooking food while they can. And that, normally we time it so that we run out of food about 2 o'clock, so.
I just wanna say thank you to the committee
Yeah,
and for persistence, because I think it was kind of disappointing last year that, can't have it.
There was a
the
lot of that
question-
going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, you just have to live with that, you know.
But, this is a new year, and hopefully, we have a great, home day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
With
And
With the talent show and everything, can we make sure that we're covered underneath the umbrella for insurance and that with the town?
Yeah, we'll have Lean check into it.
That's,
That's a good, yeah.
Andy, do you have anything else for Old Home Day?
No.
Before we want, okay.
Susan, the police department, any concerns on the police department since we get you here?
No, I'm actually gonna be out of the state. I'm pretty bummed, but we have a week-long family vacation. But we're currently working on making sure we have adequate staffing to support the event and specifically the parade and traffic like that, so we'll definitely have enough people to.
Yeah, just as I pulled in here, I saw the chief walking his dog, so I talked to him and
Okay, great.
the date.
and if we could close down School Street and that, because we'll have our floats and stuff like that for the parade. We're trying to get as many, of the other community groups involved in it, either with floats, riding on floats, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, stuff like this. so that, you know, once again, it's a completely community event.
Okay, thank you guys very much for coming in,
No problem.
and getting the town aware of that, and, hopefully have a good day for it.
Yeah.
Alright, thanks. Okay, moving on to, the town clerk has given us a civil forfeiture that we have to, read to the Board of Selectmen. CC is the chief, Dan Scuttle. Attached is a list of Dunbarton residents who have failed to renew their licenses for their dogs, as well as residents who have failed to obtain a license for their previously unlicensed dogs. Reminder emails were sent March 16th, May 3rd, May 12th, May 17th, and June 22nd, reminding them of the April 30th deadline. Letters were snail mailed to the owners of dogs still unlicensed as of June 2nd, with a deadline of June 23rd to avoid civil forfeiture. Please issue a warrant for Dunbarton Police to directing them to issue a civil forfeiture of $25 for each unlicensed dog. The chief is aware the board will be notifying him to proceed. So, we have, 2 copies here to sign as a select body, which is, I think, the 3rd year we've done this. Poor dogs in town now, they're all locked up.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm gonna go on to mailbox items. We have a request from attorney Pat Panciaco, for a copy of our audio recording for our meeting minutes from June 14th at 4 PM. Those have been given to her.
Nice to see you, Drew.
Um,
Very good. Have a good night.
I'm glad I was able to record them, because you saw the difficulties I had that day.
Yeah. So that request was in, and, we have sent that over to them, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
They only have 5 days to respond, so we took care of it right away.
Okay. We have a request from the Dunbarton Garden Club to hold their August 10th meeting in this meeting room. Lean has said there's nothing else scheduled on August 10th.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with that. The other selectmen okay with that? This is the Garden Club.
Have they used this room in the past?
They have, but they've moved
Not,
it.
not lately, there have been just a handful of organizations, one is the 4-H club that used to meet Friday nights here.
Okay.
And because of the amount of mess that they left behind, they decided to move it over to the
My
church.
only problem is who's gonna give access, and do we have an appropriate person to give access into the building?
On that committee.
And responsible to lock up afterwards.
I think Don Larson is part of that group, or the garden club,
He is, and
and
he
he
has,
has a passcode committee.
I just wanna make sure we have one person responsible
I
to
will-
close it, so, no selectman get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning saying the building's unsecured.
Okay, so let her know that someone needs to be,
And
I'll
the
put a
only,
note on here, passcode.
and the only other concern I have is that I understand that's one entity, but we should make that exception for any other entity when it's not being used, to have the ability to use it. Cause it's not fair to, choose one entity that you support and ignore everyone else. So
Yeah,
I
I
just
think-
wanna make it universal and,
And I think a lot of different, places, little departments use that.
cause
Well,
we
what
don't
was wrong
have,
is we're
we
talking
don't
about
really have a
non-gov-
community center
Right.
per se. So until you have such,
Well, we have a community center, it's a school.
yeah.
But the thing is, no, I agree with, I second what Bob just stated, that, you know, if we get a request for use of the space, if it's not being utilized by a town entity, we could be judicious, and
We have
Is
done
it
that.
just this one time, Lean?
Just this one time, they seem to rotate it throughout the town,
Alright.
between homes and locations. But we have offered the meeting room for, transactions like property transfers that involved, a lawyer to come in, or
Sure.
vehicle transfer, that all come here and use the table for an hour or so.
I just concur with Bob, you gotta be, you can't be selective in who you give it and who you can't give it to.
Okay, and we'll make sure that there's someone there that has the ability to lock up.
That's my concern for security.
Next thing on the agenda is, we have to sign a thank you for Fred Mullen for pro temp moderator for the last, voting that we had. Lee, we were gonna send something to John Trotter as well, did you,
I did not,
it was in the meeting minutes, can we do that for the next meeting?
Sure, yep.
And we'll just sign one for him as well, cause he was very helpful, and, we wanna keep it positive too, hopefully he takes on the job.
He's not committed, as soon as I understand, he's definitely, in the running for it.
Yeah,
That is an elected position, right? You have to
Correct.
run for it.
so again, thank you to Fred Mullen. We have a long-term resident that's passed, as a copy of the obituary here. And the name is different in two different spots, so I'm gonna look here at the heading. Looks like Donald Terrell.
Don?
Terrell.
Terrell, yeah, did I not write it right?
No, you did, I thought I saw Jim, oh, it says Jim. Oh, it must be his son Jim called, okay. Volunteer firefighter for many years. Long member of the police department of Dunbarton. And also serving as police chief.
We did send a card to, his wife.
Thank you for doing that. We've already made the announcement about the website up and running. So that's taken care of.
Looks good, I thought it looks really fun.
Yeah, I haven't been in there yet, but I am gonna open it up. We spend so much time up here, it seems like we need to, but we should check it out. The different departments seem to like that, Lean?
Yeah, we're getting used to it. We wanna really, feel confident in it before we delegate the different committees their own personal login and tab to be able to maintain their own sites, which we're,
That's important, because you don't want, one thing I wanted to avoid is everyone running to your office saying, could you post this?
right.
Each they should have responsibility for their own password, for their site and that, their site alone.
We will still require that they send their minutes to the office to, in some way, because under that right to know law, if someone doesn't have access to the internet, you have to readily have that, document available, so we continue to maintain the paper copies, but this just makes it easier for them.
Okay.
And Lean, if the different departments can update the site themselves, who oversees it to make sure nothing, I guess
I think
unethical
we'll
is put
probably come
on
up with guidelines as to what is allowed on that website for that, and then, when in doubt, contact an
it? That's the only thing I
administrator.
like about them reaching out to Lean, is cause you can kinda oversee it a
Yeah.
little bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
at the same token, you can't be the police for everything on there, so.
yeah.
But I think it's incumbent on all of us, if we see something that should be making someone aware of it.
Right,
Yeah.
any of the administrators can act on that if somebody calls and makes a complaint to remove something immediately.
Okay, I'm gonna bring it back for, public comment, cause we have a non-public, later this evening, so. Anybody in the public have a comment? Nothing for now? Okay,
And I'd like to make a motion to go non-public for RSA 91 alpha, Roman numeral, subparagraph 3, subparagraph Roman numeral 2B, for a hiring action for the police department.
can you say that RSA again, I think you
Sure.
made a mess.
I like to say,
I was just kidding you.
I did make a mess of it, but you were right. It's RSA 91 alpha, subparagraph 3, Roman numeral 2, subparagraph B. Better?
Motion been made
Second,
and seconded, all in favor?
Yes.
All yes.
Mark, yes.
Thanks for coming in, Ron.